Hello, my name is Christine and I am a physiotherapy technical instructor from Hope Specialist Service and St Andrew's Hospice. The reason for this video today is to talk about some resources which may help you to be able to relax a little during these uncertain times when we are out of our normal routines and we may be feeling a little more vulnerable or isolated. At times like this we may become a little anxious, which among other symptoms can include feeling short of breath or find we are breathing quicker, which can then increase our anxiety. Sometimes we need help to distract ourselves and get back on track, so I am going to introduce you to some simple techniques that you may find helpful. The first one is something we call the calming hand. So, if you start by finding somewhere nice and relaxed if you can, and that might be either sitting nice and comfortably, or it might just be stopping and standing still where you are and just giving yourself a minute. I'm going to hold that hand out in front of us and we're just going to gently pinch the thumb at the base of the nail, and we're going to think, okay, we're recognising that we are getting a little bit anxious and a little bit short of breath. We're then going to move on to the next finger and we're going to take a sigh out, a nice big sigh. We're then going to move to the next finger, and this is where we take a nice relaxed breath in, and that relaxed breath in is whatever is right for you. And a nice relaxed breath out. And then we're going to move on to that little finger and we're going to stretch out our hand and relax. It may be at this point that you're feeling a little bit calmer, or you may think, yeah, okay, but you can still feel that shortness of breath, or you can still feel that quickening. So we can go through this again. So the thumb is your recognition. So yep, I know what this is. Okay, so then we're going to go on to the next finger. I'm going to take that nice big sigh out. And then remember that relaxed breath in. And out. And then stretch out that hand and relax. You can repeat this cycle for as many times as you need to until you feel you're in a little bit more control of that breathing and it is coming back down to what is more normal for you. Another technique which you may find useful is something we call rectangle breathing. Usually wherever you are there is a visual rectangle. So it can be a television screen, it can be a phone screen, it can be a window, it can be a door frame. If you're outside it can be a fence panel. It can be anything, doesn't matter what size. And the idea of the rectangle breathing is to visually follow the rectangle as you are taking your breaths, bearing in mind that your breath in should be on the short edge and your breath out you should aim to be on the long edge. So visually following that rectangle, we're going to take that breath in and along that long edge a breath out, and the short edge your breath in and the long edge your breath out. And again, those breaths in and breaths out are whatever feels right for you. You may find that to start with, you're following the rectangle quite quickly and your breathing remains quite quick. And that is fine. But what we want to do is try and aim to slow down the pace that you're following the edges of the rectangle, which in turn will then slow your breathing. So we'll go through this again. So along the short edge is that breath in. Well done. So there are a couple of simple techniques that you can use to help if you can feel you're getting a little bit anxious, you're getting a little bit short of breath, or that breathing is increasing. You may also have an ongoing diagnosed respiratory condition, and you may have been referred to a physiotherapy service before. If you have, you may have been taught some breathing techniques that are very specific to you. In that case, try and practice those and give yourself a refresher on those. So when we are feeling anxious and our breathing is becoming quicker, it may not be possible to think about what the distractions we need. So sometimes it may be worth organising a list or preparing yourself in advance. We use something called a toolbox. Which is very much a visual aid. You don't have to use something like this. It can just be a very basic list. You can be as arty or creative as you want. You can design a board, a relaxation board that you keep, that you can visually look at. You can type in a list of things that work for you on your phone or your laptop. This is something that we've used with some of our guys before that have found useful. So it's a visual toolbox, and these are the tools that can help us to regain our breathing. So it might be for you that listening to music is something that works, or even having a bit of a song or a dance, or just moving to music. It might be that the calming hand works for you. It might be that just sitting or standing somewhere quietly and concentrating on your breathing and trying to relax that breathing down is what works. Might be exercise. Could be sat quietly reading a book. You could be the creative type. Could be arts and crafts. You might be an outdoor person, and it might be that the garden is something that works for you. Or, like me, it might be getting out and about in the fresh air. You can still go for your daily walk as long as it's safe for you to do so. So these are just a few ideas that you could use as a distraction. I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for listening.